You're running more than ever. You're putting in the miles, you're showing up, you're sweating through your shirt every single session. And yet, you're not getting faster. You're not getting easier. You still feel like you're dying at mile 2. Your lungs are on fire. Your legs feel like concrete, and somewhere in the back of your head you're thinking, maybe I'm just not built for this. Stop. Just stop right there. Because that thought is a lie. And I know it's a lie because I used to think the exact same thing, and it almost made me quit running entirely. But here's the thing, nobody told me, and nobody's probably told you either. You've been training the wrong engine. You've been obsessing over your legs, your pace, your shoes, your form, your cadence, your everything on the outside, and completely, totally, embarrassingly ignoring the one thing that controls all of it, your heart. If you watched the last video in this series, you already know we've been building something real here. We're not just talking about running, we're talking about becoming a runner. There's a difference, and that difference lives in what you're about to hear. This isn't another increase your mileage talk. This isn't run intervals on Tuesdays. This is the shift that makes everything else actually work. And if you're new here, welcome. But seriously, go back and watch the previous video first, because this is a series, and every episode builds on the last. We're telling AETI story here, and you just walked in at Chapter 4. Anyway, drop a comment right now if you've ever felt like you're putting in all the work and going nowhere. I promise you're not alone, and I promise this video is about to explain exactly why. Let me paint you a picture. You've got two runners. Runner A trains 5 days a week, runs hard every single session, pushes through the discomfort, grinds it out, goes home exhausted, wakes up sore, does it again. Runner B trains 4 days a week. But 2 of those days they're running so slow that their grandma could walk faster. They look ridiculous. People in the park are passing them. A jogger with a stroller passes them. And yet, 3 months later, Runner B is faster. Runner B recovers quicker. Runner B feels better during hard efforts. Runner A is still dying at mile 2. Ridiculous, right? But that's the reality. And the reason for it comes down to one thing. Runner A never trained their cardiovascular system properly. They were always running too fast to actually build the aerobic base that makes running feel easier. Every run was a moderate effort, which sounds good in theory, but in practice, it means you're always in this gray zone where you're working hard enough to be tired, but not hard enough to actually get better. You're spinning your wheels. You're logging miles that feel productive, but are doing almost nothing for your actual fitness. It's the running equivalent of going to the gym and only doing warm-up sets every single session. You're moving, you're sweating, you're tired, but you're not building anything. Here's the honest truth about what's happening inside your body when you run. Your heart is a muscle. Like any muscle, it gets stronger when you stress it in the right way. When you do easy running, truly easy, embarrassingly easy running, your heart gets better at pumping blood. Your body gets better at using oxygen. Your slow-twitch muscle fibers develop and become more efficient. The whole system learns how to run for longer periods of time without freaking out. That's your aerobic base. And your aerobic base is the foundation of every single other running improvement you'll ever make. But here's what nobody tells you. That base takes time, it takes consistency, and it requires you to run slower than your ego is comfortable with. And that last part is where most people completely fall apart. Now me fala, honestly. When you go for a run, do you actually slow down? Or do you feel that pull, that voice that says, "This is too slow, I look weak, I need to push harder," and you speed up? Be honest. Because I know that voice. I've heard that voice 1,000 times. And that voice is the reason you're stuck. That voice is the reason your easy runs aren't easy. That voice is the reason your body never fully recovers. That voice is costing you speed. It's costing you fitness. It's costing you the progress you're working so hard for. And here's the kicker. Running too fast on easy days doesn't just fail to help you. It actively makes things worse. It keeps your body in a state of low-level stress and incomplete recovery. Your muscles never fully repair. Your cardiovascular system never fully adapts. You go into every hard session already a little bit beaten down, which means those hard sessions never hit as hard as they should. You're not just wasting your easy days, you're sabotaging your hard days too. That's the trap, and most runners are stuck in it right now, without even knowing it. Okay, let's talk about the excuses, because I know exactly what's going through your head right now. But I don't have time to run slow. I've only got 30 minutes. I hear you. I really do. But 30 minutes of easy running done right is worth more than 30 minutes of moderate running done wrong. Slow running builds the base. Moderate running just maintains your current level of exhausted. But slow running is boring. Sure. You know what else is boring? Being stuck at the same pace for 6 months. Being bored by progress sounds a lot better, doesn't it? But I feel fine running fast. If I'm not breathing hard, I'm not working. And here's where I'm going to need you to really sit with this. Feeling fine is not the goal. Adaptation is the goal. Your body adapts during recovery, not during effort. If you're always in high-effort mode, you're always in survival mode. You're never in rebuild mode, never in growth mode, just constantly in hold on, don't collapse mode. That's not training. That's just suffering on a schedule. The other excuse I hear constantly is, "I've been running for years. I don't need to build base anymore." And this one really gets me, because the people who say this are almost always the exact people who need to hear the opposite. If you've been running for years and you still feel like garbage on easy days, that is your aerobic base telling you it was never actually built. You didn't outgrow the need for easy running. You just skipped it and pretended you could get away with it. And you can, for a while. But eventually, your progress flatlines. Your recovery gets slower. Your motivation craters. And you end up here, watching a YouTube video trying to figure out why you're not getting better. I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm saying it because it's the truth. And the truth is the only thing that's actually going to move you forward. So here's what actually works. And I'm going to make this as simple as possible because the complicated version is what keeps people from actually doing it. You need to run easy, genuinely, actually, truly easy. On most of your runs, we're talking about a pace where you can hold a full conversation without gasping, where your breathing is controlled and rhythmic, where you finish the run feeling like you could have kept going. That probably sounds absurd to you right now. It probably sounds like you're not even working. That feeling is the whole point. That feeling means you're in the aerobic zone. That's where your base gets built. That's where your heart gets trained. Here's a simple way to know if you're doing it right. Talk test. While you're running, say a full sentence out loud. Not just a word, a full sentence. Something like, "I am currently running, and I feel pretty good, and I could probably keep this up for a while." If you can say that without gasping, without breaking it into pieces, you're in the right zone. If you can't, you're running. Too fast. Simple. No heart rate monitor required, no fancy tech, no subscription app. Just talk to yourself while you run. Or call someone. I'm sure they'll love that. Now, this doesn't mean every run should be easy. You still need to do harder efforts. You need those sessions where you're breathing hard and pushing your limits. But those sessions only work if your easy days are actually easy. Think of it like this. Your hard days are where you stress the system. Your easy days are where the system rebuilds and gets stronger. If your easy days are also moderate to hard, you're stressing the system every single day with no rebuild phase. And a system that's always stressed never gets stronger. It just gets more tired. There's a reason elite runners run 80% of their mileage at easy paces. It's not because they're lazy. It's because they understand that the easy running is what powers the hard running. The base is everything. And I want to be clear about one more thing. This isn't a quick fix. I'm not going to pretend that you'll go for one easy run tomorrow and suddenly feel amazing. Building your aerobic base takes weeks, months even. But here's what I can tell you. You will feel the difference. Not in a week, maybe not in 2. But around week 4 or 5, something shifts. Your easy runs start to feel genuinely easy instead of just easier. Your breathing settles faster. Your recovery between efforts gets noticeably better. And then one day, you go for a run that used to feel hard, and you realize, wait, this is fine. This is actually fine. And that moment is worth every awkward, ego-bruising, grandma passing you easy run you suffered through to get there. This is the turning point. This is where the story changes. Every episode of this series, we've been building a foundation. We talked about getting started. We talked about building consistency. We talked about not quitting when it gets hard. And now we're here, at the piece that ties all of it together. Because everything you've built so far is only as good as the engine underneath it. And your engine is your heart. Train it right, and everything else gets easier. Neglect it, and you'll always be grinding, always be struggling, always be wondering why the thing that's supposed to get easier just never does. Here's the wake-up call. If your runs feel hard almost every single time, that's not toughness. That's a signal. Your body is telling you the base isn't there. And no amount of grit will fix a foundation that was never built. You can push through pain. You can ignore soreness. But you cannot outwork a cardiovascular system that was never properly developed. The good news? It's not too late. It's never too late. The aerobic system responds at every fitness level, every age, every starting point. You just have to be willing to slow down long enough to actually build something. That's the ask. That's the whole thing. Slow down. Build the base. Trust the process. And stop letting your ego decide your training pace. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Because in the next video, we're going to take everything we just talked about and apply it to the single most common challenge I get asked about constantly. How do you run your first 5K without stopping? Not shuffling through it, not walking half of it, not dying at kilometer 3. Actually running the whole thing. And the answer, believe it or not, connects directly to everything you just heard. Thy tea, runners who fail their first 5K almost always make the same mistake. And now that you know what you know, you might already be guessing what that mistake is, but you'd be surprised how deep it goes. Next video. Don't miss it. If this hit different, subscribe. Seriously, it takes 2 seconds, and this series is only going to get better from here. If you know someone who's stuck in that grind zone, going nowhere, Send them this video. It might be the thing that finally makes it click for them. And before you go, drop a comment. Tell me, are you guilty of running too fast on your easy days? Be honest, I won't judge. I just did it for 3 years straight and barely improved. You're in good company. See you in the next one.